Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for joining me this week. So this week I'm going to be talking about what equity is in the mathematics classroom and what it's not, using a concept attainment activity. A concept attainment activity is when you share examples of a particular important conceptual idea and non-examples of an important conceptual idea. So if you're interested in finding out what equity is and what it's not in the mathematics classroom, then please keep on watching. Okay, so I'm just going to move myself out of the way and just go through probably 5 different points about what equity is and what it's not. So the first point I want to talk about is equity is inclusion where every learner is valued, and it means an inclusive environment that is fair rather than individualistic. And equity is not delivering identical instruction to everyone, so it's not a one-size-fits-all model. The next point I want to mention is equity is about appropriate accommodations to promote access so that every single learner in your class has access to the mathematics curriculum. And equity is not the same learning paths and same achievement levels for everybody. So it's not that everybody does the same thing at the same time and everyone has the same achievement levels and the same progression levels. Equity is about high quality resources and high expectations, and using that idea of a growth mindset that with dedication and effort, everybody in your class can actually understand mathematics on a deep conceptual level based on very careful lesson design. Equity is not about tracking students and putting them into ability groups, because we know that everybody is capable of doing mathematics, and it actually is a huge myth that some people can do math and some people can't. So we want to really move away from tracking students based on the idea of ability, maths ability. And I like to use the term mixed attainment, because learners in your classroom are going to be attaining at different levels, and we want to encourage an inclusive environment by encouraging that mixed attainment learning environment. Now, next, equity is about honoring student differences, and these differences are viewed as strengths rather than weaknesses. And equity is definitely not about labeling students as weaker or gifted and talented. I really have a problem with those labels of weaker students and gifted and talented. I think that every child that is in our classroom has talents and strengths that we need to nurture, and we need to help all of our students reach their fullest potential. So if we start labeling our students gifted and talented, some are and some not, what does that say about all the other students that don't have that label? Or when we actually label our students weaker, well, you're weaker. Let's rephrase that as areas of development and really trying to fulfill and reach your maximum potential. And the last point that I want to talk about is equity is allowing learners to demonstrate their understanding in different ways. So that means having those high ceiling, low threshold tasks, or more open-ended tasks where it's not everybody doing a worksheet, but maybe it's an open-ended problem where there's lots of different lines of inquiry. Maybe it's a performance-based type of assessment or learning experience. And I'll put a link up here where I show lots of examples of different types of performance-based learning experiences. I'm just going to move myself out of the way again. Equity is not about using one mode to collect evidence of learning, assessment. So it's not just looking at right answers and wrong answers and assessing in that way, but assessing in many different ways. And as an example, using performance-based assessment and collecting evidence of student learning that way. Okay, so they're my ideas about what I think equity is and what equity is not in the mathematics classroom. Please feel free to share your ideas in the comment section below. Thank you so much for joining me again this week, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.